welcome to another Pelaflat interview here at the Vancouver Latin American Film Festival. I'm here with Jorge Lozano. His film Fields of Presence is about to show in the theater just behind us here, and I wanted to chat a little bit with Jorge about filmmaking and his film. Tell us a little bit about your style. I mean, experimental is such a wide-ranging genre. Tell us a little bit about your style and what's brought you to this place in your career.
Yeah, well, basically, to me, experimental is, it's a very broad term to talk about it. But what I do is mostly films that are poetic in some ways, they're fragmented narratives, that they dialogue with images. There is not so much concern on the storytelling, and there is no so much concern on saying something complete about something. You know, it's full of gaps and bridges and jumps and turns and you know, but it's mostly, in my case, it's dialogue with the encounters with the material that I use. I don't plan them. Mm-hmm. I film a lot. I travel a lot. I collect. When I film, it's because I feel that I get impacted by what I see or the situation, and later on I will remember, respond to that, sit to edit, and that will bring me to something else, and then I build kind of experimental storytelling on the relationship of scenes that were in the past, but they are not anymore in the past because they are present. So they are what they were, but also something else.
So it sounds like you're kind of always making a film at any given time. You never know. As an experimental filmmaker, what kind of experience are you hoping the audience has?
I try to make films that they will attract, they will hook people into what they see, and hopefully that they will interpret what I'm doing in their own way. Construct the segments is very important. They move in certain way that I think that they will, perhaps people may not understand it, but I'm sure that they won't get bored. But basically, it's just a movement. It does have content. I don't make political films, so they are made politically with social concerns or concerns about representation or, you know, how we see things. That's the way that I deal with the world. It's the way that I understand it. I began making Super 8 films, basically, when I came to Canada. The first film that I made ever was in 1971, Super 8.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your film here tonight, Fields of Presence? I know that it's a very personal film, and I know that it's probably a film that is not something that would be like any other film that you've made. Tell us a little bit about the film and what audiences can expect tonight.
Well, the film has a content, which is related to the killing of my daughter in Victoria, but it's not about it. Basically, it's not an investigation of how it happens or why it happened. It's mostly a conversation that I'm having with her. It's more about life than death. It's encountering images that I had of her and images that she created, and the songs that she recorded, which I didn't know them that well until after that, right? And building a conversation about both of us, because I was a single father when we basically grew up together,
right?
Because I was really young.
You were a young dad,
and I was a man at the time, so did not have very much help from the world because I was a man, and it was that common too. And looking at her photographs, that I inherited after she was killed, the songs that I inherited after she was killed, and brought out a lot of the stuff that I have after she got killed. So then I began working with that, making what the film is about,
It's so beautiful, and grief is such a it's different for everybody, and I think the absoluteness of death and not being able to talk to someone, you found a loophole, and you've been able to continue the conversation with your daughter, and I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, and the sound is really important too, because I discovered making this film that the sound, people are eternal through the sound, because when you hear people talking, those are the same even if it's recorded, it's the same kind of vibrations, sound waves that you get if the person was alive. So you really feel it within, right? And that really helped me a lot to get closer to her alive. You know,
If there's anything that you want people to know about your daughter, what would you say about her that you'd want people to know?
what I did with the film reflects just one part of her. You know, however, I had a very intimate conversation with her and talking. We spoke a lot about it, and that is being shown in the film about poetry, reading. You know, she was a very informed person, and she was always trying to correct me or to tell me what to eat, or you know, etc., etc.
Of course.
And it's not about her death, but it is in some ways, you know. And the most important thing I think that about the film, or what I'm concerned, is that she's perceived as a creative person, and the importance of person who killed it, which I think that is a man, will be captured before he kills somebody else, or you know, another woman, another man, whatever, right?
Because the case is still open, right? They have not found.
No, they have not, and it hasn't been my concern. In some ways, I pardon the person who killed her, but I want him to be captured, so to protect that. Anyway, that this part is harder for me to talk because in some ways the film is about the inexplicable, and what you cannot, and the inexplicable. I can say
Inexplicable, yeah.
Inexplicable is about things that you know but you cannot explain. People, for more that I talk about it, people will understand it, because the only way that you will not be able to understand it if you have experience similar to that. If you lose a daughter or a son, because it's very different than losing a mother or a father. You know,
Yes.
it's a more material connection in some ways, although you are connected to your parents. But that experience is you can. No one will understand it, and I don't even understand it myself.
Makes total sense. I mean, these kinds of things are incomprehensible. They really are.
Yeah.
And so I think, first of all, I want to just thank you for sharing this story with an audience and making a film like this, because grief is universal.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, this kind of grief, no parent expects to outlive their child, and
Yeah.
so it's a tragedy. But I think it's lovely that you've taken that and made a film and tried to explore this and keep that conversation going with your daughter. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with us here today.
Thank you. Hello, hi. I am Jorge Lozano. I am director of Fields of Presence. Thank you.